So welcome back to our second discussion sections of our units on gender issues. So we will start with some discussion on diminished responsibilities. So Mike, I think it's more common, right? At the workplace, you ask male, right, to be the driver. If you need to take someone like to the airport or bus station, something like that. But I guess nowadays, female will say, oh, they can be responsible and good drivers and take this responsibility as well. So we can talk about there are different responsibilities we consider males, or female workers.
Correct. Very, very correct. And as a matter of fact, I think some of that is part of our cultural stereotypes as well, that we're traditionally male-oriented jobs, and now as we transition to, and for lack of a better word, including more females into male-oriented jobs, there's going to be some resistance there and so on. So I think one of the examples that we've talked about before that's come up is if, and this can work either way. Let's say we have some guys unloading a truck outside of our factory. A woman walks by and says, hey, can I give you guys a hand? And usually the guys will say, oh, no, we've got it, assuming that the female is too weak to lift the boxes. On the other side, we have the idea of if the female employee is moving some boxes, maybe she's moving some computer servers or monitors or something like that, and the male walks by, does he offer to help her because she's a female? Or does he offer to help her because he's being polite? Or does he not offer at all, thinking, okay, she can do this as well as I can. Women want equal rights. They want to be recognized for it. And do I just keep on walking? So it's kind of it's an interesting situation, because some people are going to react differently to it, probably depending on how they were brought up in their family, I think.
And I think interestingly in Taiwan, we'll have for our students, lots of university students, they probably call the guys like tools, right? So some really good-looking university female students will use the male students as tools, right? Because they can call them to fix the computers for them or do other least heavy work, as you mentioned. But it's really unfair, right? I think the female students should try their best, to do. I think they are capable to do that as well.
I think they are too, and in fact they should learn to do it, especially in this particular culture where students as they're growing up are very dependent on the family. And since Taiwan is a very family-oriented culture, I think it's important for students to learn to develop a sense of independence and learn how to take care of themselves. For many of them, in fact, probably for most of them, the first time they come to university is the first time that they've been away from their families, and they have to learn to live on their own. And so some of them do better than others in terms of developing independence, but this is the first step to doing it, and learning to take care of yourself and doing some things without calling on other people right away is a way to probably improve yourself and your level of responsibility as well.
And also in the workplace, we probably find when we handle a conversation, we probably would use different tones or different language when we talk to our male colleagues or female colleagues. Sometimes you think it's okay to make jokes or someone, but the party gets involved may not think so, right?
Right. I think making a joke about somebody at the other person's expense is probably unfair, and especially if you do it behind the person's back. But I think what you say is very true. There's a different vocabulary that's used among male employees as opposed to males talking to women. This is very true in my country for sure. We even have a term for it, talking around the water cooler, where we go to get our drink of water and there's one of our male colleagues and, hey, did you see this? Did you see that? Did you see her? She looks pretty hot. That type of thing. And I don't think you really see that so much with women, although I don't really know. So, but there is a different set of vocabulary that's used for men talking with men and then women talking with men also, right? So I think a lot of times men might be on their best behavior when talking to women.
So I think the language or the words, right, will lead to the most important thing that Mike, you would like to discuss on gender issues. Why don't you say the word?
Sexual harassment?
Yes.
Sexual harassment, of course, yeah. Sexual harassment is, of course, a big, big problem in the U.S., and it has been for many years. But conversely, it's gotten so blown out of proportion that we can't say anything to our female colleagues. For example, if one of my female colleagues walks in and she got her hair cut or something, it's difficult for me. I want to say, oh, your hair looks great, did you get your hair cut? Because right away, the flip side could be that, oh, I'm coming on to her. When in fact, all I want to do is say, your hair looks good. Maybe I have no personal interest in this person, but I'm just giving her a compliment. So that works both ways, where others we would like to compliment them. Maybe we just learn, don't say anything, and we're better off in that way. We won't have any problems with sexual harassment. It happens the other side as well, where you might have females in power, and they have male subordinates who maybe they might be looking for something as well. So you have to be very, very careful about this, and especially, you know, the old Hollywood adage about starlets that want to get big in movies, on the casting couch with the director and that kind of thing, thinking if there's some sort of sexual favor offered that they will move up. This happens in business also, but it doesn't always work out for the best. And so a lot of times you have to kind of know your colleagues and be careful about what you say to them. That's the best thing I can recommend, actually, you know.
So we always saw there might be some hidden rules in workplace, but some of our colleagues, your future colleagues, may be sensitive, right, to what you are going to say. So that's the emphasis of our second section on our discussion of gender issues. So again, we have two questions to ask you. My first question is, do you think you talk differently to your female classmates and your male classmates?
And my question would be, if, and this is directed to both male and female, if a member of the opposite sex, female to male or male to female, compliments you, do you think that there's any kind of hidden meaning behind it, or is it strictly that, just a compliment?